Hello, my name is Maria Sanchez-Torres, and today I'm going to be explaining my portfolio. Starting off on the first page of my portfolio, you will see a picture of me and my name. And then the second page, which is about me, it is where I talk about the school I'm currently attending, which is Delta College, and where I'm going to transfer to, two schools I'm going to transfer to. So I'm going to transfer to Stanislaus State University this fall, actually. And then after that, I am planning to get into San Jose State's occupational therapist program. So yeah. And then in my introduction, I talk about how I have always wanted to be a teacher, and I have recently changed my career into occupational therapist. So I will be pursuing that, but I still want to be a paraprofessional because I love working with kids. I've always wanted to work with kids, and I still want to experience this, even though I will not be pursuing this career anymore. But I think it'll be still fun to just work with these kids, since it has always been my dream. I think I just like helping people and just being there for them, helping them with certain things that they can't do but I can do, and I think I get this from my dad. I talk about this in my introduction. And then I also provided a resume, so I only have had one job, which is at In-N-Out Burger, and I really enjoy working there because I like helping others, and I like the hustle there. But yeah, that's my little resume. It talks about my skills. And then after that, we're going to be moving into the templates that I created for first graders, fourth graders, and seventh graders. So I created 3 activities, and I will be going over them. I really like these mini intervention reading groups because I think students sometimes need that extra help, and we just kind of need to be there to build like their knowledge on certain topics that they might just have not got that idea of in class, and they just need that extra boost of help, basically. So for my first little lesson, starting off with that, it was actually based on phonics for first grade, more specifically. We talked about environmental print. Students around this age, they can't like read super well. They can read like little words like I can, things like that, just simple things, but they can't read big words. And so we kind of practiced reading big words with environmental prints, which they can't really read these words, but they kind of know certain logos, such as like Oreo, Legos, even the McDonald's logo, logos that they see in their environment like every day. They know them. They don't really know how to read them, but they know what it says because of the colors, things like that. So I created like a little chart. I actually have a video in there. And I created like a little chart with printed out logos, and it says I can read, and it's like McDonald's. I'm not sure if I included McDonald's, but there's like a Legos one. I can read Legos, I can read Oreos. So yeah, students need to have phonological awareness, which is very important for students in these grades. And environmental print is a very fun activity that I came up with to help these students with their reading skills. And so yeah. So that is for the primary students. And then for those that need extra help, I was just gonna ask them, like kind of pull up aside and ask them like, oh, have you ever seen this? Like, have you ever seen this logo? And then just kind of go over with them more in depth. Moving on to the intermediate students, which is 4th through 6th graders. I actually chose 4th graders, and we went over this little activity which I called Drama Queens. Students in this grade, it is very important for them to have reading understanding, as it was said, and some of the reading understanding for these students is very important. They need to know what is going on and what they're reading. They can't just skim through the text and call it a day. They need to actually know things such as the main idea, the conflict, and the characters. So for this, we kind of annotated our readings that we had, and so yeah, we highlighted what was important, what was the drama queens in the text, you know, the things that stood out, the main ideas, things like that. I think this is very fun for students. They kind of get to talk about it, kind of like a reality show. We can also make it like that. So yeah, just something really fun. And then for students that need that extra help, I just kind of would pull aside and again talk about it more in depth. I think for all of these, I think I would just do the same for the students, go more in depth with them, ask more questions, things like that, answer more questions that they have. And then so yeah, that was my intermediate mini lesson, or for students in the intermediate grades. And then for my middle school students, I actually came up with a lesson on vocabulary geography, which is actually said that it is very important for them to know these words as they move from class to class, because obviously they're middle school students. They will actually have more classes and they need to know their geography on certain words. And these 4 words that I dealt with actually are going to be seen in their textbook, so they would be seen more often in the textbook. And we created like flashcards with pictures, because I think it is much easier for students to remember things if they can remember pictures. A visual picture will always help them, and so that's why we created little flashcards with the pictures, and then just kind of testing the students, testing their classmates on the words, and hopefully they grasp like an idea of it all. And it is very important for students to just have the knowledge on these vocabulary words. Once again, it is very important for them to know it for the future. For whatever they're reading, they just know what's going on because they know what the words mean more in detail. And yeah, that is kind of more of an in-depth explanation on my mini lessons. I hope you enjoyed.